Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'll be right back right after this with my buddy Satoshi Sean. We've got all kinds of truths to throw at you. It's Tuesday, so be right back right after this. Hi, everybody. I am Litecoin Lisa. You guys also know me as Lisa Mighty Davis, and that name came from my amazing daughter, Mighty Mia. We have a family foundation, and we honor her life every year. And this year, we are going to be having an event, the Team Mighty Freedom event, Freedom Celebration, and we are honoring a champion and a warrior this year. And Exqueer and the Road to Ruta crew are our champions. And my dad, my pops, is our warrior this year. We're asking you to come join us in Oklahoma City. You can get your tickets if you go to teammighty22.eventbrite.com, and you'll learn more there. So you guys join us in Oklahoma City. Come to my hometown and hear about freedom and the inspiring story of Mighty Mia. We'd love to see you there. How's it going, Sean?
It's going pretty good. How's it going with you?
Well, apparently it's going well, but it's hotter than hell in Oklahoma. Hotter than hell, Michigan, that is.
It's still really hot here. Computer, what's temperature?
Right now, it's 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 76 degrees.
104 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm trying to see.
That's very hot. That is so hot. Oh my God. I'm glad about that portable air conditioner. It is making the difference in the studio. It's always a little bit hotter in the summer and a little bit colder in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's 104, it's a little bit hotter. It's a lot hotter.
It makes a big difference, huh? They said it's officially hotter than hell, Michigan, in Oklahoma. Only 91 in Hell, Michigan. And it's 103 in.
It's 108 in Lawton. Oklahoma. Is that right now?
108 in Altus. 108 in Lawton. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, that's Oklahoma. That was a weird cross section of the U.S. Okay. Have you seen that meme where it's like, hey, all these people keep complaining about people from California moving to Texas, and then they're like, come on to Texas. We'd love to have you, but it's a picture of Oklahoma.
Oh.
Pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just lost what I was going to say.
It's the heat getting to your brain. That's actually what part of what I wanted to talk about. Apparently, the former vice president is going to make an announcement tomorrow. A climate
stuff I'm seeing.
An emergency order about climate.
A lot of really?
Mm-hmm. No one's allowed to fart anymore.
Ooh, well,
too much gas.
You know, maybe when
my one bathroom joke for the day.
America falls. America collapses. Breaks down, taking over. We lose.
Farts.
It was a great job, great idea. But what I've seen in the past couple of years is people in Singapore fighting back against the Communist Chinese Party, waving American flags. I've seen all these other countries like acting in a way and standing up and doing things that are like these core American ideals, while America has just fallen backwards, and we're now just so much like Europe and other countries. We're not different anymore. And when it comes to like freedom and rights and all that stuff, and maybe that's that's our legacy. You know, we're one of the short-lived countries around. 200 and change years, but we changed the world. We're regular people demand more freedom and stand up to their tyrannical.
Well, the greatest generation is dying out. I mean,
Yeah,
that was, my
yeah,
grandfather and
yeah. Mine too. He fought the Nazis.
mhm.
Really think that's a touchy subject because no one in my family likes guns, and I was never allowed to have guns because no one in my family likes guns, and my mom was from my family. So, and my grandfather lived till he was very old. I told you, like, we don't know how old he was. We think he was
Mhm.
either 106 or like 96, one or the other. And I go with 106 because of the story I told you. That if not, then I feel very guilty. So, um, but he had a big collection of guns, and he's from New Jersey, so like with TPA, all the stuff he goes through,
Mhm.
it's like a
Yeah.
thing, you know. And
No, they were freaked out. Like when I was there, I carry, so I drove up there. I was there. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you mean you brought?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm traveling."
oh my God,
Like
no, you go to jail, woman.
they were like, that's what they were saying. They're like, "Lisa, no, you can't." I was like,
No, you can't.
um, "I'm traveling by myself." Well, I had the boys with me, but I'm driving. Like
Yeah, but you would go from like a sketchy thing to an actual bad place in prison. You'll get arrested for that. You
that's
can't.
what they were
You can't.
telling me.
Yeah, you
They were
can't take your.
freaking
If you're going
out.
to New Jersey, if you were coming to Texas, you could. But
That's what they were freaking
it's
out.
your destination has to have the same laws as your state in order for you to take it with you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But anyway, so when my grandpa passed away, and I knew nothing about guns. I had knew very little, like about what kinds, history, and all that. And he had an M1 Grand from World War II that was his gun. And my cousin, who's a terrible person, she was like, "You don't want all these guns and to ship them to you and it costs like like all this money." And I
You
was
don't
like,
want them because they're going to cost you money
"Cost money
and
to ship."
save
I
your
was like,
life.
dude, I was like 22, 20. I was older than that. I was like maybe 25. So I was, I was like, "All right, I'll take the money." She's like, "This guy wants to sell them an auction, and you'll get money for all these guns, blah blah blah." And she gave me like $700. She stole a lot more money from me, like a ridiculous amount. But $700, and there was like 20 guns, and just the M1 Grand was like $1,000 back then.
Yeah, that does. Yeah,
Um,
that's insane.
from World War One, it was like perfect condition.
Oh my
But anyway,
gosh.
I don't know how we got on this subject, but
Yeah. We were talking about climate change.
yeah.
And
So
Biden,
that's
he's
the
going
thing.
to make an announcement tomorrow. An
Yeah,
executive order is what I was
if
told.
it's anything like what has been happening in Europe, that's I think that's the end because if you don't know what's happening there, the government said that they had to reduce uh, their crops, they had to reduce their livestock, in some cases down 95%. And there's these farmers have had their farms for like generations. It's Europe. We think of our history, it is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket.
Right.
Like could have had farms for hundreds, thousands of years. Um, so these generational farms are like, we can't cut our income by 95% and then survive. So they're angry, but it all goes in line with the Great Reset, where they say you'll own nothing, and you'll
Yeah.
you'll like it. You don't like it, but
Mhm.
you'll have to rent. And with all the powers that be that are pushing us to alternate um, food sources like bugs and things like that, this is the first step. They're just taking over these farms in America, and here they're buying, and over in Europe they're just taking. And I think if Biden goes for a take here, it's not going to go well because people are already pushed.
They're doing the same thing here. They've just been doing it quietly for a long time.
Yeah,
That's what I think I told you about it. My mom wrote a book called Plucked and Burned
yeah,
when we moved to Oklahoma. she got to know some of the farmers and ranchers and learned about the chicken industry and how
Which
they
is
do the
crazy.
same thing. Yeah, they
Yeah.
get the farmers to buy these chicken houses and put them on
Yeah.
their land, and then they have to buy all the supplies and the medicine, which chicken is one of the most highly drugged, inoculated animals that we eat.
It's kind of like the
But
music industry and the film industry, where they would lock you into a contract,
yeah,
and then it only
yeah,
it's
you buy here, pay here.
much more like
Yeah,
flim flam kind of
yes,
scam.
it
Where
is.
over there, it's much more jackboot. They actually open fire on farmers.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then the news, you can't really hide that, and the news is reporting like, oh, only 2 people were shot. It's not a big deal. You open fire on peaceful protesters.
Completely insane.
So they have to take away everything, so you have to rent it, and I think this is just part of that. They gave all this money to BlackRock and Citadel and all these other huge corporations, and they've just been buying up everything. And we all know the real estate is about to pop.
Russell Brand did a great video on this. If you guys aren't following him on YouTube, go follow him and Satoshi Sean and me, whoever, depending on whose video channel you're on right now. But go watch Russell Brand's video on this. I believe it was yesterday's video, where he talks about how BlackRock, they're using BlackRock money, and BlackRock was actually put in the Fed. They're buying, they were given treasury money. Or bonds?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Am I saying that right? I'll have to go back and watch the video now again. Dang it. How was that positioned? It was something like they were.
I'll
have to go back and watch the video now.
I usually watch. I usually am about a day behind now on Russell.
Yeah, he does a video every day, and right now he is like hell-bent on the whole WEF thing on Klaus Schwab. He does a video on Klaus Schwab almost every day. And he had this brilliant lady that was talking about the food issue on, and there are some documentaries out there about the issue in Sri Lanka that you can watch really easy on either Prime or Netflix, that I watch, that explains why what's happening is happening with the tea industry, and it's all about the farmers. That's what's going on. And he makes it kind of a joke, and he's actually wearing this shirt that's got Muhammad Ali on it, and it says, I'm telling a joke, something about I'm telling a joke because it's true, or something like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I've been thinking about. Have you noticed that a lot of like Russell Brand, like Jimmy Dore, Joe Rogan, for God's sake, Steven Crowder, so many of like this really huge alternative journalism, where millions of people, way more people, are getting their information from than like
comedians
or MSNBC, because it's like become the role of comedians. Because comedians always used to do that. They would always talk about like really sensitive
Ricky
topics.
Gervais started it.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais. They would always, start the conversation about hard topics and, really big topics by using humor. And I think now it's just moved to a more serious place. But they were silenced on like college campuses and other places. You can't say that. You can't offend this person. You can't do that. And that's part of comedy, is to kind of to shock you a little bit, to laugh at something so that you're not so scared of it. You can start talking about it. You've laughed about it. And I think they've moved into that role if you look across Jim Brewer, like so many comedians, Rob Schneider,
Mark Dice.
Schneider, that Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo, he came out and said like this profound stuff about Saturday Night Live, which is where he got all of his start from, all of his friends are and have come from. And he said it's not like a comedy show anymore, and it's just a political propaganda like delivery system.
Machine. Yeah.
And he said that people aren't even laughing at it anymore; they're just cheering on the narrative. And that's a huge thing for him to say, But I think it's weird that comedians have moved into that role.
Yeah, that is very interesting. But that is what you're seeing. I mean, like you go watch these Russell Brand videos, and he's like, "Hello, awakening 5.7 million awakening star seeds,"
Yeah.
And then he does do like this farting crow thing at the beginning and all this, but it's like,
Oh my God, only you would really get it. Yeah, he does, and it's funny.
He does.
It's a farting crow. It's funny.
Yes, that's hilarious. Anyway, but it's like his Muhammad Ali shirt, like it's in your face. He's not even, he's like, okay, and if you want me to say these things, then I'll say these things that, yes, Putin is a terrible, horrible, whatever. Like he's saying whatever he has to say to be able to say the rest of the truth. And then he says something about Klaus Schwab. He was talking about, in this video, he was talking about how Klaus Schwab is, wants to live in the danger zone. And
I saw that. He was making fun of Klaus Schwab.
Yes, he was making fun of Klaus Schwab, and he was saying
like
he wants to take his shirt off, and
to where a Karen would have corrected him.
Oh yeah,
very mean to that old man.
Yes, that evil.
Yes, just an old man, and you're being very mean to him.
Yeah. No,
your accent
was awesome.
Offensive.
Yeah, everyone should go watch it.
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty good. That was funny.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
But Klaus Schwab's, he literally, when people look back in history, he'll be Darth Vader. He wore Darth Vader clothes like it was fashionable to his meeting of the Empire.
A bunch of those people do, though.
While telling everyone how to control people, and it was
think about who all has dressed like that, though. Hillary, him. Who else have you seen in those weird? Oh, that one guy who's in the military, and he had this bizarro land eyebrows, and he was like a satanic priest or whatever.
What?
Do you not know who I'm talking about?
I have no idea. Eyebrow military man. Was he American?
Yes.
An American satanic priest military guy.
Yeah. Oh gosh, somebody in the chat. I don't know who it is. Yeah.
Was he like a sergeant?
I don't know his designation, but he's hold on, I'll try to find a picture of him. He is like bizarro land. Oh God, what would
you can be a Satanist to be in the military.
If I write eyebrow military.
One of my best friends when I was a kid, his parents were Satanists. And he was named after a demon, which I didn't know till now. It was Oni.
Here he is, very first dude that is in the picture. I believe this one is him. This, I think it's this guy. See his eyebrows? I think it's that guy.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's
not a different head put on a guy?
No.
So who is that guy?
He is, hold on. There's other pictures that are much worse than this. Let me see.
I have those eyebrows starting. That guy just took it. I clip him, that where it starts to turn up, but he just
Does anybody know this guy's name? He is. Yes, you have the right to worship Satan. Yeah, he has the right. Yeah, High military man, Satanist, yes.
Is he a 1-star general or is he a major? If he's a major, it doesn't really matter. He's a
Everybody
1-star
forgets
general.
his
Okay.
name.
How do you know he's a Satanist?
Anton Lavelle. Is that his name? Warrior 32, I think knows.
Computer. Who's Anton Lavelle?
I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
I found on the web. According to Chicago.com, Avis Lavelle is the former VP of Corporate Affairs for North Star Lottery Group with responsibility for external affairs activities for North
That's
Star and
Avis.
the
Computer.
Illinois Lottery.
Stop. Computer. Who is Anton Lavelle?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Wikipedia.org, Anton began his career as a college circuit comedian in the 1980s.
LeVay, I think it is. Maybe. No, LeVay. LeVay is the Church of Satan guy.
Oh.
LeVay. He is the...
Yeah, wrong guy. That's not him.
In California.
Yeah, no, this is this military guy that I just had the picture of up. It was that guy. It's not the LeVay guy. Military eyebrow.
Anyway, so my friend's name was Oni. His parents were Satanists, and I wouldn't have been allowed to be friends with him, so I didn't tell my mom. And then my mom was so pissed at me because he stayed over, and I never told her till she liked him. And then I was like, "So you like Oni, huh? It's a pretty nice guy, huh? It's a nice kid. It's pretty cool, yeah. Well, he's a Satanist, and his family are Satanists. So, ha, Mom." And then she was like, "I knew it." I was like, "You didn't know it. You didn't know it. Don't try to tell me you knew it. You didn't know it. You said you liked him." And then it was a really big deal. His parents were weird. They were weird Satanists. They were creepy as hell.
I'm sure.
But yeah. But also that word that's I never knew that he was named for a demon until in the past 2 years. As an old guy now. Oni is it's a Chinese or Japanese demon. All that scary Chinese face monster thing, that's an Oni. And that was his name. His parents
really?
Named him after a demon. We named your kids Baphomet or something.
That's terrible.
Pretty weird, yeah.
Oh, I cannot find the other guys. Michael Aquino, maybe this is it. The eyebrows. And now it says that it looks like this real juicy stuff has been Michael Aquino, the colonel with the eyebrows. Who's
the colonel?
It says look at Michael Aquino. I don't know. Psychological operations, U.S. Army retired. Temple of Set. Oh, yeah.
Military intelligence officer.
Oh, yes.
Here we go. Aquino. Yeah. General faulted for Satan speeches. Pentagon investigation has concluded that a senior military intelligence officer violated regulations by failing to make clear he was not speaking in an official capacity when he made church speeches casting the war on terrorism in religious terms. Senior defense specialist said, in most instances, Officer Lieutenant General.
Yeah, here he is when he's younger, with his ponytail and his high eyebrows.
Are you talking about Boykin?
No, this Aquino guy.
Well, this is Boykin. He was
Temple
wearing
of
his
Set.
Army uniform. The Probe Defense Department Deputy Inspector General also found that Boykin, the Deputy Undersecretary for Defensive Intelligence, violated Pentagon rules by failing to obtain advance clearance for his remarks. Boykin told a religious group in Oregon that Islamic extremists hated the United States because we're a Christian nation, because the foundation of our roots is Judeo-Christians.
Look, here's a YouTube video, Devil Worship Exposing Satan's Underground, Part 3. Dr. Michael Aquino, Temple of Set. And here he is with his young black hair and his pointing eyebrows.
He has got to be related to the Addams family. There's no, look at that guy.
He is the Addams family.
He is definitely.
He's on Geraldo Rivera.
Daytime TV. So what's that one over there? The one where he's with some chick?
This,
Yeah,
or the one in the chair.
No, the one with where he's wearing the funny hat.
Says he got Michael Aquino and
Temple podcast.
Let's just be Wizard.
I don't think he's in the military. I think he's weird.
Yeah, he is in the military. He is an Army colonel.
Well, that's not a big deal.
Kind of big deal.
89. Wow. He's
kind of a big deal.
That's a weird. He's just a weirdo in the military. You got that's a colonel. He was in for 20, 30 years. That's He is.
But that is your freedom of religion, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there was enough interest or enough, I would guess the military would have to have a Satan priest.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know how that all works out.
I always thought it was odd, chaplains and rabbis in the military, because they're like all captains or better, which. In the vastness of the military, that's like the upper, few percent. For every captain, there's thousands of, underlings. Mm-hmm. So it was always, but they they're preachers, like that's their job. They're not. Most of them that I've interacted with, that's their job. They're just preachers, and the military is like a secondary thing. But, it's just odd that a lot of them are majors and captains. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird whole aspect of the military. And then that's the part about like the separation of church and state that everybody harps on. The separation of church and state is so that the government doesn't get involved in the church. It never was. So the church isn't involved in government. That's
right.
What we're founded on. Like you said, freedom of religion.
Right. Yeah, people get that very confused. That was another thing. We had a big issue with that at school, at the kids' elementary school, when my big kids were little. That I don't even want to get into. It was just a big mess. Wow. But I do want to talk about. So I found. There was a big explosion at the Hoover Dam today. Somebody caught some video.
Other news or news at all? Because what you sent me wasn't really news.
It wasn't
news. From Janice.
It's kind of news. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, but it was from Janice. It wasn't from a news source, which is weird. So I guess is anyone talking about it?
I don't know. I don't watch the news. So.
Oh, I thought that Janice was touring the Hoover Dam.
No.
Okay.
So Janice, our friend Free Ranger, sent or tweeted this, and I retweeted it. There was somebody was touring the Hoover Dam and heard an explosion, and saw some fire. Then there's a little 12-second video. I guess I don't know how much damage it actually did.
That's weird.
But then I went back and did a little bit of research on Hoover Dam, and they have had historically low water levels. And
right. That's why I said this is interesting, because
it said since the 30s. So I went back and it said the problem is the lake is getting really low. As of June, Lake Mead's depth is the lowest it's been since 1937. Um, National Park Service is calling for volunteers to kill bison at Grand Canyon. Okay, that's another article, sorry, that they stuck in there. Krista Stockwell and her family have owned Las Vegas Boat Harbor at Lake Mead Marina since 57. Lowering lake level has been causing headaches. Both our marina floats. So our maintenance guys keeping up with lowering waters. Have to move anchors out so we can move the marinos out so we're not stuck in the mud. Blah, blah, blah. In 1998, the lake was about 16 feet deep. That's
Are
compared
you
to today's
serious? Oh my God.
depth of nearly 1,000 feet. We'd like to see it entirely full. The last time the reservoir was entirely full was the late 1990s, around 1998. So Doug Hendricks, okay, remember that just recently they diverted all that snow runoff though out into the ocean. Did you remember hearing about that? Bix talked about that, I think.
I think so, a while ago, yeah. Well, this is okay. So this is very interesting, like I said from the get-go, because Vegas, all the desert towns are very dependent upon this, and right now it's a critical time. Ninja and other people are talking about like the city could be emptied, and
but Sean, this is the real issue of it. The reason they want this down is because this generates power. And so under full reservoir operations, we can generate enough power annually for about 600,000 households.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're down to only be able to generate power for about 450,000. So part of them diverting the water, the snow runoff, and then now the lake being down.
It's more than that. And I wanted to have a real tinfoil hat hardcore talk. I wanted Johnny Bravo. I want you. I want Ninja. And I want Roach and some other people. Because this is, and I don't. Whenever I talk about a conspiracy theory or something that I think is true, I never tell someone, "Hey man, you got to listen. This is how it is." I'm always like, "Hey, this is weird," and then I just talk about the facts.
Okay.
You know, kind of like Russell Brand does. You know, it's like, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. And I let them be like, well, then it has to be this. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it is. But I've talked about weather control like forever, since I was a young fellow, because I always said, weather control, the government can control the weather. Everyone said that I was nuts when I was like 20 something, but you can go and look at scientists that were interviewed, and when people would ask about weather control, and they would be like, oh, it would be very easy to do if we had this, science fiction technology of lasers, and we had like things in space like satellites. But that was like in the 50s. They said that it'd be super easy.
The military admits it, though.
But now that's the thing. See, now China's is admitting it. Military admits it. So, and if you look at, across Europe, they're wanting the farmers to give up their crops. They started revolting. Literally a week later, there's massive swarms of locusts killing all the crops. Germany stood up really hardcore against the United States when it came to the Russian pipeline. And I don't know if you remember, but Germany flooded like weeks later. Flooded the country of Germany. It hasn't happened for hundreds of years. In fact, it flooded real bad. They found thousands of Roman coins from when the Romans occupied Europe that were unearthed because of the floods. So I think weather control is used as a weapon because it's not talked about that much, and you and I both know that. But that aside, it's a admitted technology that works. It's not that hard to create rain in certain areas. Yet Africa droughts. But we also had desalinization. You've been able to give Africa all the fresh water it needs for like $5 billion and some cargo ships running desalinization desalinators, whatever. But they could fill Lake Mead. Our government, I mean, this is like one of the biggest tourist incomes for the country is Vegas. You know, it's like one of the biggest stops in the world. They could create rain in the desert, not that hard. They could fill Lake Mead. They could put the water there if it was a conversation, but it's not a conversation. So, I mean, it's obvious. You talking about snow runoff and other stuff. They could just make rain. They could literally just make it rain there.
It's a great point. I think there's just some really interesting, a lot of good information out there that where was the other thing that I was looking for that goes along with what you're saying?
Also, everybody, jump over to my channel, subscribe, give it a like. If you're watching on my channel, jump over to Lisa's, subscribe, give it a like, or if you have or haven't, head over. Cloud City originally was done with ground corn stalks. Yeah. I don't know why I said stalks.
Did you see this? I didn't plan on talking about this. However, it was hilarious. And this is probably right up your alley. So some people totally spoofed Stephen King, pranked him. 2 Russians tricked him, believing him. He called him up and made him think he was on a call with Zelensky. And he sits there and hold on. I'm gonna
Did you watch Arnold Schwarzenegger's speech?
Did I watch what?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's speech?
No.
It was powerful.
No, I wasn't aware of it.
It was powerful. But he trashed his dad. He talked a lot of crap about his dad. So it was moving, but then he did turn into serious propaganda about Ukraine and all.
Okay, so this is talking about on the call. He claims that Ukrainian Holocaust architect Stepan Bandera was a great man whose murder of the Jews was just a slight flaw worth overlooking. This is out of Stephen King's mouth.
Who I really love Ukraine. Yeah, it's not Nazis. It's Azov. They love some people like Bandera. It's
the fakest accent I've ever heard.
So what do you think about Bandera? He was in the Second World War, and he fought against the Soviet Union. But yeah, he had some crimes, but it's not big crimes. It's of course accidentally where crimes against Jews, but it's really important to keep him opposed to Putin and his propaganda.
Well, yes, I mean there are always, you can always find things about people to pull them down. Washington and Jefferson were slave owners. That doesn't mean that they didn't do many good things for the United States of America. There are always people who have flaws. We're human. There are things that we do that are bad choices, and then there are things that we do that are great choices. So, on the whole, I think Bandera is a great man, and you're a great man, and viva Ukraine.
Oh my gosh.
On the whole. So
I think that, and then you're saying now Schwarzenegger is on. They are having these people like show themselves. Do you notice the Raggedy Ann doll in the back?
That's not Raggedy Ann, Lisa. That's the monster from It.
Oh, well, it looks like a Raggedy Ann doll.
It's the monster from It.
Well,
okay. So Schwarzenegger was rough for me. It has been rough because he was like my idol as a kid.
They're having them like out themselves though publicly.
He did with Trump. He came out hard.
So what did he? I'm curious what he said, because I'm sure it was a way of like outing himself.
Well, it was. See, okay, first off, his dad was a Nazi.
There you go.
So that's bad. His dad was wounded at Leningrad, and so when he was a kid, he went and he watched his friend took him to the capital of Austria, which I've just forgotten. Not Salzburg, Vienna. Took him to Vienna. They watched the World Strongman competition, and this guy Yuri, this Russian, won. And his friend took him backstage, and he met the guy, super nice guy. The guy gave him a picture, signed it. He brought it home, put it by his bed.
Oh yeah.
His dad comes in, he's like, "Get that Russian out of here! They shot me and wounded me in the war. You find an Austrian or German to look up to, and not this guy." So he's like, "No, this is my hero. Screw off dad." So he had this fight with his dad. His dad's a broken man, alcoholic, which a lot, like most Nazis were. They were beaten. They were crushed. They had to come back. They did bad shit. They had bad memory. It was like it was PTSD times 10.
Right.
It was regular PTSD, and then they did a lot of bad shit that they didn't want to do. They're following orders.
Evil.
So most of them were alcoholics. There was like alcoholism was rampant in Germany and Austria and all. Mm-hmm. But his dad was alcoholic, and then he was talking about how he's always loved the Russian people, and that he has Russian brothers, and the Russian people are great, and I love you, and Putin's a bad guy, the government's terrible. You gotta, it was basically kind of calling. I think it was pushing for like a coup, and there is things that worry me, and I brought this up like weeks ago, and all of you guys made fun of me. I brought up nuclear, that I'm more scared now than I was in the 80s as a kid.
I am not afraid of nuclear. I think nuclear is our new energy. I think we'll be mining Bitcoin with nuclear. I think nuclear.
I mean a bad nuclear.
No,
I'm worried about that.
Not bad.
And when you look at the PSAs that they just out of the blue started making in New York,
they're just trying to scare you.
I was scared before they did it. I told you.
You shouldn't be scared.
I think we're heading towards something. Whether it's an engineered crisis, something to scare us, or something that actually happens. Okay. I think that there's going to be something with that.
Don't be scared.
And I think that all this coming out, like to heighten the tension, to bring that back into fruition. I mean, kids nowadays, they think things are rough, worrying about a guy coming in and shooting in their school. Every day we worried about the earth ending. When I was a kid, it was a real thing, especially for us. We lived by the largest target on the planet, Fort Hood. It was the biggest military base. We used to say in the free world because we didn't really know about, it was the Iron Curtain. But now it's the biggest base anywhere. There's probably nuclear weapons here. They always say that they won't, say if there is or not. But there's, even when the base was wide open, there were certain parts of West Fort Hood that there's caves. I used to go out there, and if you go too far, like police come out of like nowhere, and all of a sudden they're on you, and make you leave. So we always thought that that's where they were, but I think something's coming with that in soon. It's just too much focused on that one thing that hasn't been. No one's worried about that forever. And now they're all of a sudden it's a worry again. It's got me a little freaked out.
Don't worry. I don't think we need to worry about that.
Take Care, Reality by Jay Rocco.
Yeah. There was one other.
Spells my name both ways, but SCAN's the right way.
He spelled your name both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean. Sean. Just in case. There's two. He only needs one more.
The right way and the wrong way.
W in there, and then he's got all three. It's a trifecta. Yeah, too funny. There was one more thing. That's funny.
I don't know, JDO. I would be interested to see if Russia would play hardball like that. I don't know, Lisa. Can you think of any time where anyone's ever made a big threat and followed through? Like we were going to blow the world up. We were going to make nuclear war because of our Ukraine, which was Cuba. Russia
now there is radiation. I mean, there is like the only time that it's really been used is on our own people.
No, I mean when someone made a threat, we were going to blow up the world for our Ukraine, Cuba. When Russia was going to move into Cuba, we said no, we're going to nuke, and we all know from the declassified documents now that we came so close to nuclear Armageddon. So that's we did that. Gaddafi with his don't cross this line, okay, don't cross this line, okay, don't cross this line. I can't remember when a government ever made a big ass threat.
Atomic bomb was used in Hiroshima.
No, that's a war. I'm talking about when some country says, if you push us or you do this, we're going to do this terrible thing, and then they do it. I can't think of any time they've ever done it. Like he's talking about, Russia said they'll turn the lights off in Germany if they don't play ball. I'm curious to see if they would actually do it. I can't think of any time a government has ever made a threat.
No, typically you don't threaten. They just do things, and then there's retaliation.
That's the thing. It's either
they don't threaten.
They attack. They declare war. It's something like that. But they don't ever. It's never a bargaining. Like if you do this,
right,
we're going to do this, and then they
actually.
Not that I'm aware of. I can't think of anything.
Yeah. And maybe they do it all the time and we never hear about it. I have no idea, but not that I'm aware of.
Tom, it's hard to enjoy the show when you're in the show. It is a little.
The show is getting a little old, I have to tell you. Not our show, but the movie.
Yeah, it is. It's time for a new genre.
Yeah.
It is. All right.
I have to agree.
There's other stuff I wanted to talk about this week.
I can't wait for World Blockchain Roundtable this week. I know they messed the weeks up or whatever. We were talking on the group chat, but I'm so excited.
They're the Dow states, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was supposed to be, I guess, next week. But
I'm going to try to get Stephen Bundy.
Oh, okay.
For Thursday, because he's the only person that I know of in the whole world that stood up to the U.S. government as a citizen. Him and the other people by force, and won. So I think it'd be an interesting topic, and he would have a lot to say on it. Rice is coming.
Good.
Which it's still 11. I mean, he gets to get up an hour earlier or later than me, but it's like I'm usually not functioning at that time of day, but I guess I can try.
At 11?
Yeah.
In the morning?
I woke up like 45 minutes before this show.
Oh, you guys.
But I went to sleep at 8 in the morning.
You guys are up all night. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
Because, I mean, I guess you don't want me to do the
only simple human gets up late as well, because they're just asking about the explosion. Thank you, Hoover Dam, but we already talked about that. I'm glad to have you join us, though.
I would like to share my screen.
Okay.
Your.
Oh wait, I have to stop with mine. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm gonna call you out here, which is probably not gonna like, but
You're gonna call me out?
Yeah.
Bring it.
You all, her subscribers, her friends, who she loves, she's heard and I'll show you.
Bring it.
Okay, I want to do the show on DeFi, and this Saturday was my birthday, so sorry, but it was my birthday, and it was a rough day. It was a very rough day. So here, this is a new platform I'm using. Here's a farm that I stayed up all night to get into because I had to move stuff around. It's paying 4.32 million%.
Million%?
Yeah, the safety level is quite high. It's
Okay.
3.28% a day. Oh wait, no, that's not mine. I'm in the safer one. I'm only making 2 million% because it has a higher safety rating, but I'm only making 2.7. So let me go to my vaults. I've got about, see, this was $8,000 this morning when I went to sleep. I made about $900 today. This is showing a monthly yield of $1,750 a day. Average APY is 144,000%. These are the safety ratings. They're good. This is the one I started on this morning. Paying 2 million% APY. APY doesn't really mean anything. The AP bar is your actual return, which is still about 1,000%. I think it's like 1,600% or 1,100% something. It's about 1,160 something percent is what I'm getting. So yeah, I put it $600 into this, like at 6 in the morning, or 5 or 6 in the morning. I made like $85.
That's awesome.
And this is on Beefy. So this is a big one. It's a weird one. But 0.5% a day, 0.5% a day, 0.25% a day.
And this is the class you want to do on my Patreon.
Yeah, this is the one I found that's super easy.
Okay.
Like it's a little too easy. It's so easy I don't trust it. You know what I mean? But it's been around for a while. They've got their token's worth $445 each. My Asian son told me about this like over a year ago, and their token went up to $3,000 on the run, and it was like spare change when he told me about it. And he's like, "What about this Beefy Finance? Looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna get into Beefy Finance." I was like, "Dude, I have so many things. I don't want anything else. I've got too many. I'm just gonna get be Ape Swap and Pancake Swap. It's enough, and Pococo. And if I would have got into that, oh my god,
But you're in it now.
doing this from my island." But yeah, so I'd like to do that, man. On the
Your birthday's this coming Saturday.
No, it was last Saturday.
I'm sorry. I thought it was this coming Saturday.
No, it was last Saturday.
I got the wrong
on
Saturday.
Facebook, man. Facebook told you it's Sean's birthday.
I'm never on Facebook.
Yeah, you don't ever like my family night cooking.
Oh, do you post it on Facebook?
Oh yeah, if I don't, people get pissed, man.
That's like your Facebook famous for your
for family night cooking. No, everyone's mad if I don't post it.
Well, put your let's do a happy birthday, Sean Bitcoin tip address. Oh, I know where I can go find one. Hold on. Because he probably won't give me one. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go find let me think about those. Everybody, we should sing happy birthday to Sean really quick.
If everyone's singing I can hear you.
If everybody sang in here, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear them. It's cool.
Okay.
Thank you all for the birthday wishes.
To Sean. Happy birthday to Sean. Happy birthday, dear Satoshi Sean. Happy birthday to you.
I'm 29 again for the 20th time.
29 again.
Yeah.
Wait, why does this not have?
Yeah, that's like my email, Sean29 forever.
This one.
And it was funny like when I was 32, but now it's kind of embarrassing. What's your email? It's CAN294 EDER. Like, oh, that's funny. Oh, I was like, yeah, okay.
Okay. Here's birthday donation addresses in the comments.
That's very nice of you.
Yes, so people can make happy birthday donations in the comments, and then I'll go put them on in my description. I can't put it in your description, but you can.
Is that EU ETH or is that EU part of the address?
It is however you have it written in our very first video that we did together when you were driving.
I will look.
So I can go in and fix my description on today's show. I can put birthday donations for Sean. That way I make up for being a terrible friend.
Little cash, more of other things.
You're not a terrible friend.
Okay, so it says ETH and then it's a colon space OX blah or 0x.
The EU is part of the Bitcoin address.
Where do you see the EU? Yes, the EU is part of the Bitcoin address. So then it's there should be a return or a space after that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want people sending money and losing it. Okay.
No. So I should maybe recopy those and put like a comma after each address or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll do that.
Or space. Let me look. I want to see if there's anything else, but I know there's something I want to talk about. What do you think the message will be?
I think that'll be I don't know. I think it'll be like either you have to limit your electricity usage or they're gonna no farting for cows or something ridiculous.
I did get an email from the electric cooperative in Texas about turning off during certain times.
Yeah.
I
remember sometimes they used to do water rationing or whatever.
We get that, yeah. We get water rationing. You can't water your lawn. You can't wash your car. As a kid, we had that all the time. There's a burn ban. You can't burn your trash if you're out in the country.
Yeah, I could see them doing something like that, like midday and then that would even screw up like people's working hours. Could cause problems with the workforce and screw up the economy even more.
I remember what I wanted to go over.
Even more like
I remember what I wanted to go over with you. I want to have a show with JP Sears because I don't know if you saw he has a new channel where he does reaction videos, which reaction channels most of them are goofy. A lot of them are fake, but this one he reviewed Hunter Biden's, the videos that are out. And like you could hear the emotion and like he was going to start crying because he knows, like I know, that it doesn't matter. Nothing's going to happen. That we're all serfs. We're all peasants and they can do what they want. And I think people get so all the talk shows and all the clips and all the memes and we're like, oh, we go to jail and look at this and oh my goodness, breaking news, Hunter did this and the underage girls, and nothing's going to happen because nothing will happen because they're above you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how we need to approach these from now on. You're not going to get anyone arrested. You're not going to get anyone impeached.
We need another BCH address. Sorry to interrupt. JDO says the BCH Addy does not work. And I just copied and pasted. And I just redid everything with a space after and then a comma to separate them all. So sorry to interrupt.
I think that we need to approach everything from now on in a different way. Like, look at
like seeing these women get shoved downstairs. A little old man got punched and knocked down in the street, and nobody helped them. And I mean, this is why people need to carry and protect themselves. And community needs to be looking out for each other. We need to have like community watches. We need to make sure that people go in groups, places together. Needs to.
I sent the address on Twitter. I think we need to start when we show these things, when they come up, when these things are exposed. I think we just need to say, "Hey, look what they can do, and you can't." I think we need to tell people the reality that they're above you, and nothing's going to happen to them. I think we need to get people angry at that, because don't try that. It's just false hope. This is going to do it. This is going to get them arrested, dude. When I when I saw a press conference with the sheriff and like 30 cops that were at a press conference instead of working, and then tons of reporters talking about the governor of New York and saying, listing all the things he did, and one of them was to actually go up under a woman's shirt and under her bra and play with her boobs. That's full assault. To talk about that and then all the other things, and then to say now arrest is not off the table. Like, here's your little treat. Maybe, dude, if that was anyone else, you're arrested. There's no press conference. There's not 30 cops. So what is that? That is just circus, man. And that is giving you a little false hope, like, yo, maybe we'll arrest him. No, you're not. You're literally putting it in our face. You have 30 cops behind you. You have you're telling us this is what he's done. We have, a sworn statement. But maybe we'll treat him like you. We're not, but maybe. And that's the message we need to get to people. People have to get pissed, and they have to realize the system doesn't work. It's not real.
Just one more thing that is broken. Yeah.
But that the swarms of locusts I did talk about. I want to talk about the weather, how I think that now it's being used. I think if you look at farms, how they're not bowing down, they're going to be attacked by natural disasters or other accidents and things are going to screw up their supply chain for their growing and maintenance of their farms. I think it's going to be like a war, but we need to see it for what it is. I think people need to start fighting back, like literally.
But I think that's just taking out the stuff that's bad for us. I really think that is. And what were we talking about? There was something else that was very similar to that last night.
But I think anything that goes along with the globalist agenda and those people, it's not good for us,
Well, but it's taking those things that were meant to harm us, and
isn't that what they always say? Hey, we're going to do this for you because it's for your good. Trust us and let us do it. It's for you good. This fluoride is going to help your teeth. Put it in the water, and then okay, it's anything that gives them strength or gives them power. It's not good.
I think it can be flipped back around on them.
Hasn't yet. They've been around for a long time. Hasn't yet.
I don't know. When you see things like Stephen King sitting there being fooled, and in your own words, you're like, that is the most ridiculous
accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he really falling for that? Or is that just him doing a public admission?
I think that's him falling for it. I don't think he would risk.
Is that really Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, yes, my father's a Nazi and this, or is it really him doing a public admission?
I think it really is. I don't think that they would risk the power and what they've like worked their whole life to get. Either it's a submission to the power, to like, I'll play ball, just let me keep my space, or it's them just trying to hold on to it. I don't think they're freedom fighters and
I don't think they're freedom fighters, but I think they're maybe they don't get, walk to the end of the plank or whatever. They get to go live their life out in the in a jail cell instead of, getting taken out or something. Or there's some negotiation or something, or it's part of a deal, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think,
or maybe
I don't think the good guys are in control. I think that's biblical. It's going to be bad. I mean, when things happen, it's going to be hell on earth for years.
I think it has been.
When you really, I mean, if you read it, there has been like dead children in the streets and dead animals lining the roads, and I mean, yeah, I guess if you look at it that way, but I don't think it's been hell on earth. I mean, my life's been decent, when you look at the last 2 years and how even that wasn't hell, but it was pretty bad, and it did a lot of like emotional shit to kids growing up, and a lot. But if you're living in suburb of Oklahoma City, and you had to go through lockdowns and blah blah blah, it's still not like fearing for your life from a rape gang in.
But it also doesn't mean that's not happening somewhere else.
But as a world as a whole,
as a whole, there's some pretty damn awful shit.
Yeah, there's some pretty awful shit going on, but then the Western world, it's still pretty comfortable,
Right, but I wouldn't say that we're the standard. And when you talk about where the majority of people live, like, we're not the majority of people. I mean, think about where the
we do in China.
Concentration of where the concentration of the
China's not hell. China, it's not bad. China's better than yeah. It's a small section of the population. If you're talking about overall, well, you're talking about big numbers. Western world and then China, that's way more than the majority. The life in China has improved like unbelievably in the past 20 years. The cities, the technology, everything is super modern. They're restrictive.
Speak out against their government.
They're restrictive, but if you're not, but that's not hell. That's not hell. That's not hell. I think hell's a lot worse. I think things will get a lot worse. But I don't think that the good guys are in control by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're fighting.
I think there's still a fight.
Oh, there's a fight. It's a fight. I mean, you can see certain, like you could see Texas, you could see Florida. You could see the huge fight in Georgia. You look at TPA and, you could see New York and New Jersey completely. In California, I was talking to Rice today about how California is so weird that, because we're talking about Slab City, it's like its own thing, with the tent cities, and people are allowed to go in and steal from stores if it's under $1,000. It's such a weird place. You can't even count it as America when you look at like the way of life. It's just so weird and different.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, that whole thing. We were talking, I think it was on Friday, we were talking about like the possibility of like Well, and I guess we may end up talking about it on Thursday with the whole Dow thing, and like if the United States went to something like that, and you could see, like, there used to be old prophecies about California falling into the ocean or
Ocean,
whatever,
yeah.
and you could see that in a scenario where like the states moved into kind of a state or nation states, and California became its own thing and seceded from the rest of the country because their mindset is just so different because so many people have left
Yeah.
California. And then we've had several people that have left the state of Washington and Oregon. That whole like West Coast kind of just has really.
But California saying that they're going to secede is like your 7-year-old saying they're going to run away.
Well, and I guess it wouldn't be California seceding as much as the rest of the nation states saying, get the hell away from us. Pushing them away, maybe. Saying,
remember Superman, Lex Luthor's plan was to hit the fault line with the nuclear weapon, and then it separated California, fell into the ocean.
Well, there you go. We've made it all the way back to the nuclear.
And then he owns all of Nevada and Arizona. It's all beachfront property now. But yeah, that's a real worry they have, that the big one could always come and put it all into the ocean. But yeah, it's weird that it's that human psychology, which like you can talk to people and you can see when you say something and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, did you really just said that? And they're like, oh yeah. They like, this is a failed policy, and then they bring it up like, hey, this is how we did in California. In California, it's like, yeah, but you left there because it didn't work, because it was terrible, and you can't do that. And they're like, oh yeah, but
that's why you're here. So don't try that shit around here.
But, they're so dependent on federal money that they can't leave. They could never, which is weird because they're this economic powerhouse. Most of the food they could feed like a chunk of the world. I mean, America, and then tons more. They're this huge, just breadbasket of food. Plus they had, gold, and there's so much that California has. But
Northern California is actually really nice. I think that a lot of states are like that. It's maybe just a small minority of, a portion or, part of the state.
Well, that's the thing about like the democracy debate. Like, New York State, so different than New York City, but the concentration of people, New York City runs things. But if you leave the city, go up to up north, it's a very different atmosphere. It's a very different mindset. So California, I guess they could split into 2 states, which would, and that's one of the terrible things about having this 2-party system, which I don't know why people just don't admit. It's a joke. It's it's the worst thing.
We're starting to see all these rhinos pop up. Even, the 2-party systems. Even
2-party systems. It's a joke. You can't. I think that they should demolish the party system altogether, and it's just, individual. That's it. You raise as much money as you can. We already have the laws. We already have the fair time laws. That's like if Hillary goes on Saturday Night Live, they have to let Trump on. They have to let Sanders on. They have to let whoever's on the ticket gets the same billing. So with that law in place, if we kill the party system, then we kill the whole, basically the way it's run. You have all these individuals who ran, and their places are completely different. Like I've always said, if somebody votes for something, and it kills the environment, and it hurts the earth, and it does terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps everyone in their district. You got to respect that. That's your job.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that. But it's not that way. If there's 50 Democrats, 49 of them are going to vote the exact same way, or 50 of them are going to vote the same way. It's everybody votes right down party lines. It doesn't matter how they run. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter about their family. It doesn't matter what their religious views are anymore. Nothing matters. Everybody votes whatever the party is. That's who controls them. That's who makes sure they get elected again.
Because they have these big lobbying groups and all that are
The
all
system
everybody.
needs to go, and we were warned about it.
It's run by money, not ideas anymore. And that's where one of the things, like when we do talk on Thursday, I wanted to talk and bring up about depending on how the DAO is structured, I think would be a huge issue because, if somebody could just buy, it'd be like buying votes. If you could buy more strength or voting power.
It's okay to be run by money, but who holds the money? That's
right.
If the people hold the money, it's yeah.
I mean, if everybody just got one vote, or the landowners each got, do you get more votes because you own more land? Like it depends on how it's structured. What is fair? And well, if I put a lot into the community, and how is that judged? Is that because, well, I work a lot, so I should, and I put a lot into the community, and that is valued because I have a lot of land, which makes the community more valuable, then I should get more vote. You know what I mean? So I think that whole conversation is important and valid. So I don't know. I think that goes down a whole.
Yeah, it is a good talk. I mean, a good subject.
Yeah.
I think we could have tiers, like everybody's a congressman, and everybody gets the same vote on this level, and then it goes to the next level where, like level 2 DAO members.
Then it's House of Representatives.
Then it gets a smaller group until you're up at the top people, which is maybe 10%.
But then are you qualifying people like a caste system?
No, because in order for it to get to them, it has to go through the people. Imagine if every law had to be voted on first by everybody. Imagine the shit that would not get through.
Oh my gosh.
All the secret stuff, all the little things. Things would have to be so simplified, and everything would have to be up front. And it'd be a chore. Everybody had to vote. Every week. We got to go vote on all these bills that will go to Congress.
What
and then we would know, hey, there's all this secret. We want $1 billion of secret money to go to this, 3-lettered agency that no one's ever even heard of. That's under the Department of Energy. That's under the Department of Agriculture, the geology department. There's like 50 or 60 3-letter agencies that are not the CIA, the FBI, those. They're and they have power. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you hear about the let me get it right. Department of Agriculture bought a bunch of submachine guns.
You did tell me this. I heard about it. Yes.
Well, like Social Security, Social Security have their own police force, but they bought millions and millions and millions and millions of rounds of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of the reasons why the ammo shortage started, because a lot of these are just weird government agencies bought bajillions of rounds of ammo, which started the shortage.
And the IRS did too.
Yeah, that was nothing. Treasury agents, they bought a bunch of these 10mm submachine guns, which is weird. But the Department of Agriculture and some other departments and it wasn't a little bit. I mean, it was a lot of machine guns. But yeah, I was gonna look into it a little bit more. But just some weird questions.
Yes. That is what I think we need to go back to the Constitution. The restoration of the Constitution. That is what I would like to see.
JDO, really? Your Social Security office has private security? They don't have a Social Security police? That's weird. Ours has it's a Social Security police department, and they're actual police officers, which I always thought was weird as a kid. If we went up there in Temple, because they're a national agency and they were police, and I was always raised that you can't have a national police force. Like there's these eight, and that was one of the big arguments about the FBI, but it's not a police force, it's an agency, it's an investigative agency.
Okay.
Because you're not allowed to have national police.
Well, I love that DeSantis is recruiting his state guard.
Yeah,
more and more states are going to start doing that.
That makes me think like the good guys are in control there, because and Texas had Texas Guard forever. I mean, we actually I've talked about it. 5 years ago, we used it against the U.S. government. Under Obama, and it was a huge deal. So it's not the National Guard, it's the State Guard. So it is a very different. We have our own Air Force. Bush flew for the Texas Air Guard.
No,
that's why he didn't go to Vietnam, because he flew for the Texas Air Guard. Back when they didn't send our, I guess they really can't. If you join the State Guard, then they can't deploy you for like they do the National Guard now, which is still completely wrong.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We've got this amazing military organization that we're going to be making the Team Mighty donation to, and it has this amazing connection with my dad, and I can't wait to tell everybody, but we're announcing it at the event. So
how is the event going?
It's going well. We've got a few more ticket sales going, and we're looking for some more silent auction items for the silent auction. And if you guys have any silent auction items, let me know. There's my pinned tweet is a link to the event. If you guys can go to that and help share that, I would appreciate it. We're trying to get more ticket sales going on that. Bix has got his location figured out for Oklahoma City. We've got all of our stuff. We're the Native American dancers are planned out to do a blessing ceremony when everyone arrives. Then we've got all kinds of things happening. So it's going to be a great night.
That's very awesome. I'm about to go look on your channel and see how many comments you have on your. Wait. Hold on a second.
Thank you, Bubble Boy.
You have 26 likes. Very good. All right. And you don't have any comments. You don't have the ability to make comments.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, you have the chat, right? You have the chat, but you don't have
live chat.
Not until it goes live.
Comment?
On mine, I have 776 comments.
What?
In the comments. One of them is Economic Ninja, and it's been pinned.
Why are you not live too?
I am live.
Set both of ours up.
I'm going to refresh this.
That can't be right, because I set both of ours up.
First off, Economic Ninja is pinned. How could he pin that? I would have to pin that. Here, look at this.
I don't know how to do it. Hold on.
You see this?
Yes.
Truth Tuesdays is Toshawn, Lisa My Davis, Hoover Dam, Biden Climate, 776 comments. Economic Ninja, the water filtration thing is pinned. So
how did that happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna refresh. That's got to be some kind of weird. It shouldn't even let people make comments.
It should just be live. Like,
yeah, it should just be live. And there we go. Okay. No
maybe
comments.
it was from our last week's show.
No, because Ninja wouldn't be able to leave or pin a comment. It was his comment about water filtration things.
Last week.
No, it was. You know what? I think somehow it crossed our videos. That's all I can think of. That's weird.
I didn't pin Ninja's comment from last week.
It's very weird. Lisa is so smart. Sean is so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Isn't that sweet?
That's very nice. Bubble boy.
Uh-huh.
See, oh God, I wish I was running this show.
FX, I have a 2000 Heineken Woodcup Magnum in unopened value. Holy cow. Thank you. That is awesome.
How's our chin on your channel, so Sean?
So GlassFX, send me an email about that. LitecoinLisa2@gmail.com. And
I am looking forward to Thursday. He's got to go to sleep at a regular time on Wednesday. It's not hard for me to do that, though, because Wednesday's family night, and I cook for hours. So I'm, like, really tired. And then everybody goes to sleep, because everybody else goes to sleep at a normal time. Like, even early. Like, the boys go to sleep, like, at 9:30. So...
The boys go to sleep at 9:30?
Or earlier sometimes.
I figured they'd stay up all night doing their gaming.
No, they know they're not those kind of people. They'll get up early
because they do their show that's about gaming.
You know what's weird is, like, when they were little, I did experiment on them as children, which is wrong, but they would get up at like 5:30 every morning, and if they fell asleep, at like 8 at night, they'd sleep for a bajillion hours and get up at 5:30 in the morning. But I was like, hey, you guys want to stay up and we'll watch, Star Trek? So I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I keep them till like 1 in the morning, and then they would fall asleep and they would get up 5:30 in the morning. They always woke up 5:30 in the morning, period, just like an alarm clock. And they've always been that way. They get up at like early in the morning, no matter what. They've gotten in like their older age now, they can go back to sleep sometimes, or can sleep in, but they still wake up at that time, especially Ted. He gets up at, like 5, 6 in the morning every day. And then, because I was like, I heard you were still up when I woke up. And I went to the bathroom, went back to bed.
That's pretty amazing. Only Carly slept like that. She was the only, and I guess Cannon, but I don't really, Mia never slept. So, like, I don't know if Cannon slept well or not, because Mia never slept. And then Carly slept really well. Zachary used to like sleepwalk really bad, my oldest child. And so to the point where like we would find him outside the house in the middle of the night, like climbing a tree. And then he'd be like, wake up, and he's like halfway up the tree. I'm like, oh.
Robert did a little bit, and then he had night terrors sometimes.
Yes, night terrors is what they called it.
But I always could sleep, no problem. I used to tell the office at school that the gravitational pull was stronger under my bed than anywhere else on the planet, so that's why I was always late for school. It's like, it's not my fault. It's science, baby.
Which, so Uncle Cliff wrote another Substack, and he was like started talking about flying off the earth. But it was about, he was saying how ridiculous the whole trans thing was. And then he compared it to the also flying off the earth. And I was like, oh, please don't start with that, because it makes me,
Well, you worried about flying off the earth?
We talked about that. That's my nightmare thing.
You know something weird, and this is true. I'll be completely honest. That I believe that I could fly when I was a little kid, and I've talked to other people, and they're like, "I did too, man." And as I got older, I was thinking maybe it was a dream, but I swear, man, I could concentrate, and that I could fly when I was a little kid, like,
That's when you're in theta.
Under 5 years old.
Yes, under 7, you're in theta, and your mind really is magic. Your brain really can see things. Like, that's why little kids can, like,
the pan. Yeah, it was like the pan. Like I fell off a slide, but then I stopped myself and I floated, and then I could concentrate and make myself fly. But
yes, and thank you, Jim Montgomery. Yes, please send the Tim Tebow pic, Jim Montgomery's coming to the event, so please bring the Tim Tebow pic and the John Elway signed football. And I think that those would be great. Those are always do really well at events, so I'll put you down for both of those. I really appreciate it. Put it on my list.
When's the event?
August 6th. So Big Squeer's coming in the 5th to do his roadshow on the 5th, August 5th on Friday. And then August 6th is, are you thinking about coming?
Yeah.
Are you going to consider it? Really?
Well, yeah, of course I'll consider it. I've been thinking about it. I was also, though, thinking about coming. I'm mad at you for not letting me be on with Ben and not having him on with us, because
he'll come on.
I haven't hung out with him or talked to him forever. I've told you that it's bothering me.
I'm sorry.
He never talks to me, and it's like always busy.
No.
And then when you were talking about that shit on, I think it was with Johnny, I was screaming at the computer. I was like, oh, he was like, no one talks about this. And I'm like, I'm the one that told you that months and months ago or a year ago.
I'm sure he would come on a show with us.
It would be cool, man. We should have him on.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. No.
Yeah, Ben's going to be there.
Yes, he's coming.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Ben will be there. Big Square will be there. Greg Lang is coming, that you introduced me to over at World Blockchain Roundtable. Jenny Moonstone's coming.
Greg's going
to sing, yes. TPA, Public Awakening, is going to come and be there. He's not going to sing.
Did you ask him what his band was? I think it was like Mail Order Brides or something.
No, I didn't ask them.
It was...
We'll have to ask
Mail Order Brides, and his like...
Thursday.
And he had like an alter ego when he sang. I forget what it was, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
We'll have to ask him Thursday. If you would be here, that would be amazing. I would love to have you here.
Those are pachinko machines. One is from the 50s with the Eagles, Texas and the Eagle on it. And the other one is a RoboCop one from the 90s, which is like really cool, but it's loud, and it just like has gunshots and plays the RoboCop theme. So it's off. And then I lost the power supply.
Oh, my uncle brought me one of those from
Japan,
Korea, or maybe Japan. I can't remember. I thought it was Korea or Vietnam or something when I way back. Like,
yeah, they're like
80s.
They're big in it. They're huge in Japan, but also in Korea. They're like kind of one-armed bandits.
Yeah,
they're like kind of like slot machines. Yeah, and they're little balls that are in it, and then you can cash them in to like get prizes or money or whatever. I don't know. They were fun when I was a kid, so
yeah.
I want to collect them, but they're not a lot. They're big, not a lot of room.
Yeah. Way back in the day, everything we owned got stolen when we moved from Arizona to Houston, and then So we lost everything that time. And then mom, again, after I moved out to go to college, then mom's house burned. So we lost everything like twice. So
Yeah.
I don't have much from my childhood.
Yeah, everything. We had a house fire when I was like 20, which was rough because it was just starting out and just got married. But we had everything. Like I had been planning to move out because my mother used to threaten to kick me out like every day. And then when I was going to move out, she was like, "No, you can't leave." I'm like,
"Oh my gosh,
you kick me out every day." You're like, "Sean, you do the dishes, I'm gonna kick you out." And she's like, "That's a parenting. What did you say? That's a parental tool." I'm like, "No, it's not. I thought every day for the past like 3 years I was gonna get on the street." She was like, "No, you can't leave. It's like you can't take this. You can't take that. It's mine." I'm like, "No, it's mine." Because I had been saving up stuff. I had everything: pots, pans, rugs, whatever. So we had everything, furniture, and then it all burned. So we had nothing, no bills, nothing on credit. So I'm 20 years old. We had to like start over, and that's when I had to like buy furniture on credit and go into debt. And it was not good. It was a bad thing. But I don't know. There was good things that came out of it too.
I got to meet Ocean Waves when we were in Arizona, and I wish she could come to this one too. That would be a lot of fun. It's so great when we get to meet people at these events because it's like, see them in the chat, feel like you have all these like people that are in the regular chat. And
I want to meet Phil C. if I ever go to
that would be fun.
Miami or something because
he's in Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Florida. Mm-hmm.
I get to say it's cool when I talk to like Bozak and TPA, certain people, because they say things. I even teased growing up in Texas when I say Florida and orange juice, and they're like you don't. I don't say the O or your museum. I could tease. I don't know why people laugh so hard at that. Like it's a superhero like Shazam. So I say museum. It's museum. It's like museum.
Shazam.
Yeah. You guys going to museum?
That's too funny. Oh my gosh. All right. What day are we going to do the DeFi on Patreon?
When do you want to do it?
Right now. Let's do it on the calendar right now.
Okay.
I can't do it tomorrow or Thursday. Oh, and I have court Friday. For my delinquent.
For smacking those guys around.
No, my delinquent ex.
All your bar fights.
No, my ex-husband that won't pay.
I think my ex-wife might get arrested. She hasn't paid anything, and I told her I used to bug her, like, just send $50 so you don't get arrested. And then she's like, yeah, I'll send something. She didn't send anything for like 4 months. I gave up. I'm like not gonna bother her about it.
Yeah.
She's gonna get arrested. And then she's gonna tell everyone that I'm a terrible person and I got her arrested. I didn't get her arrested.
You didn't do anything.
I to get her to send 50.
They do that. They're disobeying a court order. It has nothing to do with you.
I have tried and tried and tried.
We could do Sunday.
Okay.
Or we could wait and do Monday evening. No, Cannon has jiu-jitsu. I could do Tuesday. We could do next Tuesday evening, or we could do later tonight.
Okay, later tonight.
Tonight it's Wednesday.
Tomorrow, yeah. So tonight's fine.
You want to do tonight?
Okay.
Or no, let's do next Tuesday night because then I won't have Cannon. Because he just came home today. And he's all needy when he comes home. Can we do next Tuesday night, the 26th?
Do a whole week. Let's do it sooner.
You want to do it sooner? Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. So then let's do it tomorrow night.
That's family night.
That's family night. We can't do it.
What
What about
time?
Thursday?
What time?
We could do it Thursday night. Let's do it Thursday night.
Okay.
Thursday night. That way people aren't at work and all that, so they could. Because I want to do it on Zoom for my Patreon, so they could like ask you questions.
Oh, you want to do it live? Okay.
Do live and interactive, so they could ask you questions. They could be
Okay.
like on their computer.
I thought we were going to record it. Then I'm like, we should do it anytime. But okay, yeah, we want to do it live.
That way they can ask you questions because it's just for my Patreon that
Okay.
are like. That way they can be like, I can't do this. And
Well, you could do it, then post it, I guess, like a week or two later or something.
But then they can't ask you questions.
No, I mean post the Zoom that we do.
Oh, yeah.
So you get the views on your YouTube, yeah. Plus, it's the safest thing you've done forever. There's no controversy with it at all.
That's true.
You might as well post it.
But I want to do something special for my Patreon people. Let's see. Where might Sean go to visit? To the thing that's scrolling across the bottom, the Oklahoma City event for Team Mighty. That's what they're talking about. Okay, yes, Thursday night. What time's good for you?
Whatever. You want to do it before dinner or after dinner?
I probably won't be eating dinner that day because I'm getting that root canal that day. So
that'll be fun.
That'll be fun. Let's do after. Let's do like what, 7 p.m.?
Yeah, that'd be 8 Eastern.
8 Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah, 5 on the West Coast.
Okay.
That'd be good.
D5 with Sean. Patreon only. And then I'll do.
Yeah, I got a Huobi stream.
How's that going? Are you enjoying that?
I am not.
You are not.
No, they said, hey, we want you to do 2 streams a week. And I was like, no. They said, yeah, you want to do 2 streams a week? I'm like, for nothing? They're like, yeah. And they don't like I have to try to get it to go to my YouTube channel. They weren't even doing that. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting views. I'm not getting subscribers. You guys have billions of dollars and you don't want to pay me to do streams and do your stuff. It's like, I'll do 1, a week.
Well, I just can't take it on right now. They asked me to do it, but I'm like, I just have too much right now.
And then they want like more. They want it to be you're an employee that's not paid. So
I mean, I think it's really cool, and I would, if it brought me, more people like you were saying, I would consider it. But I just right now, I just can't right now.
Yeah, it's work, which I don't want work. And if I do work, I want to get paid. So, I mean, I'm literally like, they're like, here's topics, go and make a stream on this. And then, I get, thousands of people on the stream on their app and like go into their Facebook and stuff. And I have to try to put it to mine. And then people have to go on. They're on the app. They're not on YouTube. They're not on my page. So it's and then like if I got it to stream, then my subscribers are like, what is this? What is going on? It's like, oh, I'm on Huobi app. It's like a weird thing. And I'm not actually streaming. So it's been odd.
Okay. There's something else that Ninja told me to sign up for. And I forgot to do it over the weekend. So, and he said for me to sign up for it and then to tell my friends to sign up under my link. So I will do that today.
Is that the water thing?
The link. It's like a web something. It's not a water thing.
No, I'm just thinking about the water filtration thing.
No, it's not a water thing.
because he said it takes the fluoride out and everything, and that the water tastes like really, really good.
Yes.
And it's easy to install. Because the boys drink bottled water. I have a zero water filter so it's like a 2-gallon filter, but there's nothing in the water. It's just oxygen and hydrogen. Like I digitally test it, and it's super clear. But they don't like that because there's nothing in it. They say the flavor is weird because there's no flavor because it's empty. But I buy a lot of water. I buy cases and cases of water, which have been going up, man. Everything's going up so much.
Everything's going up.
It's yeah, it is weird how expensive just everything's getting.
Okay. Yeah, I started doing my profile and I didn't complete it. So I will finish this and then I'll send you the link. But it's an all-in-one network. And he said you earn cash rewards on your activity on this. So he was saying to like post your streams on this.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you're kind of double dipping on some stuff. And he earned like more than some of the other things that he has on his stuff.
I need $11 on the stream I did. I was pretty shocked.
On
YouTube.
On
no,
YouTube?
It was the crypto meme review.
Good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Like $11.50. I was like,
wow, that's good. Dang, yeah, that's really good. YouTube just doesn't pay worth.
But then like the one me and you do, it was like, $1.80 or something. Yeah, it was weird. And it was like the same amount of views. So that other thing I didn't get.
$1.80 all day. All right, guys, we gotta go.
Yeah,
but I really appreciate you guys. If you're not already signed up for my Patreon, please go do that. Everybody, please also go check out my description and Sean's and give Sean some birthday love. Happy birthday to you, brother. I love you.
Love you. Love y'all.
Take care. Bye.